step up, please.
Step
Step
up.
up, please.
Or do what you're told. Do what you're told.
Very good.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got the prosecution and the supporting, many but not all, of the supporting staff who have worked tirelessly for the last almost 4.5 years to secure justice for 3 innocent victims. And we'd like to start with Lindsay Blake.
Almost 5 years ago, the communities of Fremont and Madison County lost 3 wonderful human beings, Tylee Ryan, J.J. Vallow, and Tammy Daybell. As a Fremont prosecutor on this case, this has been a hard-fought battle for both the prosecution team and for the law enforcement agencies that worked tirelessly on this case and never gave up hope. This has been a tough case because of its complexity, both in telling the story of an investigation that spanned years and trying to figure out the best way to present it in a way that would make sense to others. As a prosecutor, I try a lot of criminal cases, but for me, as a new mom, the details of this one just hit differently, and I can't imagine the family's pain. I cannot express enough both my and Fremont County's deep appreciation, gratitude, and admiration for all those who have played a role in seeking and ultimately obtaining justice for the victims in this case. This case has been about speaking for and seeking justice for the lives of 3 wonderful humans whose lives were cut way too short by the selfish desires of the defendant and his co-defendant, Lori Vallow. We are pleased with the outcome and that justice has been served for the victims in this case. This has been a collective effort between multiple agencies working in collaboration to see this case through for the victims and their families. There are so many people who have been involved and helped behind the scenes, and every last one of them has been instrumental in obtaining justice. When I came into office in 2021, after discussing the case with others in Fremont County and collaborating with the Fremont County Sheriff's Office, a decision was made to bring the case back to Fremont County because we felt strongly the case of J.J. Vallow, Tylee Ryan, and Tammy Daybell should be combined and tried together. You heard from some of the victims' families how these 3 have been intertwined forever. The Fremont County Sheriff's Office was instrumental in the decision and support of the prosecutor's office in making that difficult decision. I cannot express enough Fremont County's gratitude to Rob Wood and the Madison County Prosecutor's Office. They started this case looking into the whereabouts of JJ and Tylee. Then when the children's remains were discovered, Rob Wood stepped in without hesitation when my predecessor requested he take the case as a special prosecutor, and then ultimately agreed to combine resources to pursue justice for the victims in this case. A special thanks to Fremont County Deputy Prosecutors Rocky Wixom and Tanya Rawlings for their dedication and efforts in both this case and the case against Lori Vallow. The Attorney General's office, in first taking on the prosecution of the murder of Tammy, and then by their agreement to allow us to have Deputy Attorney General Ingrid Beatty join the prosecution team. The FBI for stepping in without hesitation when the children were missing, with their extensive experience and their resources, and continuing to see this case through to the end. The Rexburg Police Department for starting the investigation into the whereabouts of JJ and Tylee, and then never giving up the search. The Fremont County Sheriff's Office for their tenaciousness in pursuing the investigation into the death of Tammy Daybell. Arizona law enforcement for sharing everything they had uncovered and their willingness to come to testify in the cases here in Idaho. This became a joint investigation, a joint effort to find the children, and then ultimately to seek justice on their behalf. I've been absolutely amazed and astounded at the level of investigation, professionalism of the officers involved, and the camaraderie that has been formed. I tell them all the time, they make my job a lot easier. We extend our support to Arizona in their continued pursuit of justice for the additional victims, Charles Vallow and Brandon Boudreau. We also extend our immense gratitude to the jurors in this case who didn't sign up for this difficult process but agreed to perform their civic duty. And in rendering this verdict, we hope the victims and survivors of Chad Daybell know that the community as a whole does not tolerate the loss of 3 precious and irreplaceable human beings. We are hopeful that those who have been involved and affected by this case and the actions of the defendant and his co-conspirators can now begin to heal.
4.5 years ago, Detective Ray Hermosillo walked into our office
needing a warrant for what started as a simple search for a Jeep to help an investigation in Chandler, Arizona. This soon turned into a search for two young children, Tylee Ryan and JJ Vallow. That investigation merged with the death of Tammy Daybell. Very quickly, multiple law enforcement agencies and prosecutors' offices began working together diligently to find those missing children and determine what happened. Realizing the children's last residence was in Madison County, we began a child protection action to bring the children to safety. When it was clear that Lori Vallow Daybell and Chad Daybell had no interest in helping us locate Tylee and JJ, we took further action in filing charges against Lori and extradited her from Hawaii. The search for Tylee and JJ was non-stop. Every stone was unturned through the diligent team efforts of the Rexburg Police Department, Fremont County Sheriff's Office, the Idaho Attorney General investigators, the FBI, Chandler and Gilbert Police Departments. The willingness of so many different law enforcement agencies to work together and pool resources to obtain justice for these victims is unprecedented. All of these agencies work together with the single goal of justice in mind, and we cannot thank them enough. From the Madison County Prosecutor's Office, we are so grateful for the working relationship and partnership we've had with Lindsay Blake and everyone at the Fremont County Prosecutor's Office in obtaining justice, both in this trial and the trial against Lori Vallow. That includes not only Lindsay, her deputies Tanya Rawling, Rocky Wixom, and all their help staff. I'd also like to thank Ingrid Beatty for being here with us and the Attorney General for allowing her to work with us. And I want to say that Lindsay Blake's dedication to each of the victims in this case has been unwavering. Her willingness to take on this case when she took office, when she didn't have to, was absolutely courageous. It has been an honor to work with her. And I'd also like to thank members of the Madison County Prosecutor's Office who've helped on this case, prosecutors Spencer Rammel, Mackenzie Cole, and Rachel Smith, who've helped on this case. Today, justice was served for Tylee, JJ, and Tammy. 3 innocent victims whose lives were tragically cut short by the selfish and cruel actions of Chad and Lori Daybell, who embarked on a path of destruction that irrevocably altered the lives of countless families and countless individuals. While nothing can undo the immense harm caused, we have worked tirelessly to secure a measure of justice for Tylee, JJ, and Tammy. This week, a diligent and attentive Ada County jury carefully considered the evidence and presented and returned a verdict of guilty on all counts. Last year, an Ada County jury did that for Lori Vallow Daybell as well. We are indebted to them for their service. We also want to applaud the incredible strength and resilience of the victims and family members who, despite unimaginable grief, have stood with us these past 4.5 years in our pursuit of the truth. Their support has been invaluable. To all those who held Tylee, JJ, and Tammy in their hearts, we hope these verdicts bring a measure of healing and closure, and may the memory of Tylee, JJ, and Tammy continue to be a blessing to all who knew and loved them. Thank you.
Take a few questions. If anybody has some questions, you can ask some questions if you want.
Yeah, now I get back to the case being done like that. You want me to take it or you want to? You want me to?
Go ahead.
I think every attorney handles it a little bit different, and probably every investigator. I think a lot of times there's things that go on behind the scenes that nobody ever gets to see. Everyone compartmentalizes it different or comes up with some form of therapy or stress relief to deal with it. But I think I can speak for everyone that obviously there is an impact. You get to know the victims. You learn so much about their history and their lives that it's like you knew them in life sometimes. And when you hear their families and friends talk about them and they really bring them to life for you, absolutely there's an impact, but I also think that impact then just spurs you on to fight even harder to make sure that we secure justice.
Another question?
I believe the fact that those jurors unanimously found every aggravating factor speaks for itself in terms of its appropriateness, and I'll leave that at that.
Chad wasn't here, was the question.
I don't actually know if they're taking it back or
We
not.
transported to
At some point,
penitentiary.
I don't think we're going to talk about that.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
We're not going to talk about that today.
Thank you.
What has it been like working with the victims' families and knowing that that's the conclusion today, and that I noticed a lot of the plucking members, of this entire team.
Both
say
go on this
something.
one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you say something.
So I think Rob and I will both answer this one. Working with the victims' families, it can always be a bit of a challenge because you want to ensure that you're getting them information that they're entitled to and that you're taking into account their concerns, what they want to see happen with the case, and that their rights as victims are being upheld. In this particular case, I think the victims' families have been fantastic to work with. We've tried to make ourselves available, meet with them whenever they have questions, and keep them as informed as possible. I think you heard at times, sometimes unfortunately, they learned of things before we were able to reach out to them, and that can always be a challenge as well. But working with them, getting to know them, hearing the stories about their loved ones, hearing the good memories, hearing them bring the victim to life has been an incredible experience. I think we've enjoyed a good working relationship with all the victims in this case.
I second everything Lindsay just said, and I would also just say that these cases are hard. They're really hard to do, and the victims are just such a motivating factor, I think, for everybody involved, for law enforcement, for the prosecution office. Their dedication to their loved ones is so important, and we just really appreciate their patience with us, their willingness to work with us. They have been truly, to me, I think to Lindsay, to everybody, very inspirational.
How will your lives change now that the case is ended?
Ask that in a couple of years and we'll see.
Maybe a question for Detective Hermosillo, if that's okay? And could you step a little bit closer? Thank you. And Detective, I know you've been the lead investigator on this for 4.5 years now, I guess, or right around that time. What is it like for you to have this kind of wrapped up and, having gone through this whole process? What does that feel like for you?
I mean, it feels great. We worked as a team tirelessly for 4 years. Not just myself, it was a collaborative effort. I have a great team. We worked with several different agencies. So it's a team effort, but I think we're all feeling the exact same thing, which is just relief. We're glad it's done. We got justice for JJ, Tammy, and Tylee, so that's what counts.
And I know, how many would you estimate people worked on these cases together? What would you guesstimate between all? I mean, I know it was a lot.
I would say hundreds. Yeah, hundreds of people, hundreds of hours. So it's a relief. Thank you.
We technically had 7 law enforcement agencies, not including the prosecutors, over 3 different states and maybe even more, but 7 law enforcement agencies. All right, anybody else? All right, thank you all so much. We really appreciate it. Thank you all.
Amazing.
That's a good idea.
And if you want any individual interviews, I need to set them up. No? Everybody good?
Can I just have you stand over here with the camera? Okay, we're doing it on camera. We're doing all of us at the same time.
Oh, okay. Do you want us to stand with you? Okay.
Still want him to really get that. You have to leave her.
You're not even getting focused. I feel like to know that Chad is just getting enough.
It's a weird feeling. You never wish harm on anybody, regardless of what they've done to you. But at the end of the day, it's good that he can't hurt anybody else, and that's what matters. So that's really my feelings on that.
Really surprised by the results.
I can't say I was surprised. It felt like something that made sense, but I can't say that I feel good about it. But it does feel good to know that it feels like things are concluded, if that makes sense.
Watching yesterday was incredibly impactful and emotional. What did it feel like to finally be able to talk to Chad in front of him and tell him these things?
It was hard. I didn't expect to have the reaction I did. I tried to just read through it, but when you're there and you're sitting there and he's right there, it just brought everything out that I've been feeling. It was really hard to say what I needed to, but a part of me feels a lot more healed, and spending time with everybody here, it feels like a healing I couldn't have imagined, if that makes any sense, but yeah.
Now that all of this is finished,
Yeah, that's a good question. I think the number one thing is focus on healing. I think this concludes this chapter of this part. We have to live with the fact that we're not going to have the people we love in our lives anymore. But I want to honor them by how I live, and at some point I want to tell their stories and tell you guys who my family was, and honor them the best that I possibly can. I feel like through this whole process, it's hard because you're so up and down emotionally. I feel like I wanted to make them proud, and I feel like that I made them smile a couple times. I would hope. So, thank you. It is good news. This is the best justice we can possibly get. And again, it doesn't change the outcome, but it is good news, and it brings closure for everybody that's been hurt. So that's the good news. Yeah, thank you guys.
Hello, everybody. Yeah, it's me, Aunt Vicki. Thank you so much for all of your wonderful coverage. My fear in all of this, to begin with, was that Tammy would be a little bit forgotten because, as we all know, finding 2 children brutally murdered in somebody's yard that you know and love is devastating. But finding out that Tammy was a victim as well. And I just, with all due respect to the kids, I couldn't imagine her being a little bit lost in the mix. So it was important for me as her aunt to be here. Her mom passed last year, and those were the last years of her life, knowing that her daughter had been murdered. So today is a sweet justice for us, for myself and my immediate family. There's just, it's hard to express. I was just talking to Larry, and we were talking about there's a little bit of sadness in us now because we've built a family together here, supporting our families. We love each other like family. Our relationship will never end. But we got justice for our loved ones, and that was always what this was about, getting justice for them. This wasn't about us. It wasn't about anything other than getting justice for those that we love. And the prosecution, the detectives, I can't say enough about them. I feel like they got a gift from those detectives. They worked so hard. They didn't count their hours. They were incredibly important to the effort that went on here. And I think that they gave it up to capable hands who were able at the end to present it to the people of the jury and have it all make sense, because it was a crazy, convoluted case. And with a lot of just crazy religious creations and different things. But we're going to be forever grateful to these people. They're amazing. Even the people that came out to court every day and would stand at 6 o'clock in the morning to try and get in and support our families and just be here. We're thankful to them. We felt their prayers. All of you who have been here from the beginning and just praying for our families, we feel that. So thank you to everybody. Thank you for Judge Boyce. That guy is amazing. We need people like him on the Supreme Court. He is the most fair, judicious person I've ever seen in my life. And I actually like to watch court on TV, so there you go. But yeah, we just send our love. We're appreciative as a family. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Jason Gwilliam. I am Tammy Daybell's brother-in-law. Samantha is my wife. Samantha is Tammy's sister. And we just wanted to thank everybody that was involved in this. We want to thank the law enforcement that did an absolute phenomenal job with what they did. Want to thank the special prosecution teams, the people that we have met. The hardest part, I think, about all of this is our family has lost a brother. But in the process of it, we've almost gained an entire family, and that can't be replaced. We've gained Tylee and JJ's family. And we've just met a lot of wonderful people through this entire process. It's been a difficult one, but we appreciate your respect. We appreciate your help in getting this covered and getting this out there to the world. It's been a challenging trial, and there's been a lot of blood, sweat, and tears put into this, and we really appreciate everybody's help. We do have a prepared statement that I want to go ahead and read at this time. This comes from the family. Go ahead and get to this. It just says that we want to thank everyone who put in the countless hours of work to get where we are today, the law enforcement, prosecution, the media, and all of you who watched, listened to the trial, and prayed for us. We are grateful for the relationships we have created through this horrible time, the support and love that we're able to give each other. And we also want to thank Aunt Vicki, who was here sitting in court almost every day when those of us weren't able to get here. That took a lot of strength from her to do that. We can all start to heal from this terrible loss we've suffered. We'll miss Tammy every single day of our lives, but we do have some comfort knowing that we will see her again someday. If you've been touched at all by Tammy and would like to support the foundation, we do have a foundation for her. It's the Tammy Douglas Daybell Foundation. It's been designed to put books in the hands of children and to increase literacy. So please consider donating to the Tammy Douglas Daybell Foundation. And we thank you guys for everything that you have done and all the support that you have given us as we try to pick up the pieces and move forward. So thank you very much.
I did want to personally just take a moment and thank everybody that was involved. First off, the prosecution team, who from the very beginning has just been incredible to work with in supporting our family. I also wanted to take time to say thank you to Judge Boyce for not just this trial, but for both trials, for everything that he did in his service. As a victim, we were given a chance to write our statements, and as we did so, we were limited by specific statutes, understandably so. But it makes it very difficult as a victim sometimes then for us to actually say the things that we wanted to say. I wanted to take a moment. There was some things that, as I was going back and forth with a part of our team, our wonderful victim impact coordinator, Paula, she helped me refine the statement, but ultimately I had to take this out because of, obviously, like I was saying, the statutes, but I wanted to take a moment and read this. It was a statement that was directed directly to the jury itself. To you, the jury, I wish I could easily say that everything I think or desire to say about Chad, or specifically the impact of his actions and to us impacted in the aftermath, was easy and clean. It's not. I'm not here to pontificate on who he was or may not be. I certainly have those opinions, and I'm entitled to them, but they have no bearing here in this setting with a decision that lays here before you. If I was still the man of God that I was even a few years ago, I'd easily know the words to offer you all in making what you feel is the appropriate decision. Instead, standing here, I'd say to all of you, may you find it in the universe, the earth, or whichever god, gods, or goddesses you may offer prayers, meditations, or if you're agnostic or atheist, you find it in yourselves. To be true to yourselves and do what is right or just. I offer my sincere gratitude to you as a family member of a victim. Thank you for your time and your selfless sacrifice. I hope you all know how much it means to someone in our position. I always thought I understood and appreciated our legal system and the specific role the jury of our peers played until being put into this unique position. Truly, thank you. I hope that you all are able to get the necessary support and therapy that you may need to process what you've seen or heard. Living it for myself and for all of us who are victims, it has been burden enough. Please do not carry that burden for us on your heart. Thank you.
Okay, can everybody hear me? We got terrible noise behind us. I wish they'd have turned the fountain off. Everybody has spoken so eloquently.
Can y'all hear him?
As we were leaving the courthouse, the courtroom, Kay asked me, she said, "It's over." And I got sad. Justice has been carried out for everybody involved in this. What made me sad was are all of y'all. You're our family. We have gone through a tragedy, from the judge who's had to endure this every day, to our friends in law enforcement. We're now brothers. I have so much respect for y'all. For this courthouse, we saw justice, equal, honest, and righteous. I look at the faces, and I'm going to tell y'all, I'm going to miss you. Not because I want to be in front of this camera. I did not choose this. It chose us. I'm going to miss y'all. There's a few people. Lauren, Dr. John, how would we have made it without you? Janine, Clint, how they have carried us through this. They have been our eyes, our ears, and our hearts here. Rexburg is a beautiful town. Boise is a beautiful town. Idaho is a magnificent state. They don't deserve this blemish. Kay and I have often spoke. How would it have been different if we were in New York, if we were in California? How would it have been different? Every day, I want to get up. I want to be here for justice, but for y'all. Y'all have all given a lot. The media has been amazing, and I want to personally thank you. My wife, my beautiful wife, my rock. We thank you. I hate to say goodbye. I truly mean that. It's not goodbye, it's until we meet again. So, as I said a long time ago, turn out the lights, the party's over. They say that all good things must end. Let's just call it a night.
Yay!
Thank y'all.
I'm
Thank you.
going to say a few things.
Go ahead. Now y'all will get a real speech. I just
No, just this will be short and sweet, I promise. I want to thank everyone here, everybody that's watching, all the support, the emails, the texts, the messages, all these things we get, social media. Everybody's support is how we have gotten through this. And, you know, we're not through yet. So we're very grateful for all of you. And we really wouldn't have made it through this without y'all. And I want to thank y'all. And there was I know what? I'll see y'all in Arizona. That's where we'll be next. Y'all have a good day.
Got it. Thank you.
You're gonna need to go up on that camera. You're a slight bit taller.
Slight bit taller.
Like,
5'19".
that explains it.
Short reporters, we tall interviews.
You're not the tallest I ever interviewed, though. I did interview Kareem Abdul-Jabbar once.
Oh, yeah.
I had to stand on a chair and still had to reach. It was ridiculous. So.
Wow.
Okay. First of all, what are you feeling right now?
A sense of relief for everybody involved. Very bittersweet.